Should we lower this camera?
Which one?
This one here? If I'm sitting?
Oh, no, hang on. Oh, we're live. We're talking. Hang on one second. Hang on, everybody. Okay. I think we're good. If anybody's out there, it would be great if you let us know how the sound is. Here I come. Okay. I think I can move over here. We got that. Okay, now I'm here. Hey everybody, welcome to vibesworkshop.com, and I'm here with you probably, and this is Pass It On Percussion podcast, and you're probably looking and saying, but that's not a percussionist. But my guest this week is a buddy of mine. We figured we haven't seen each other in 9 years, but we made a recording together a while ago that was just alto and vibes, and I always go back and listen to it, and I love it. And I love it because it's just melodies. There's no bass player, there's no drummer, it's just us playing. And I thought, oh, this would be a nice podcast to do, because probably a lot of vibe players out there, whether you're in school or wherever you are, it's probably finding bass players and finding people to play with could be a challenge. And I thought, well, maybe people, players should just get together with a flute player or a vibe player and just play. So I thought I would talk a little bit with Aaron. The other thing that makes Aaron great is he can't play chords. And I'm always fascinated by people who just can play lines. And when I started learning, I remember I started to transcribe a couple of vibe players and all that, and I thought, forget it. I'm going to do horn players, because all you guys can do is play single notes, so that's how you're thinking, right?
Yeah, for better, for worse. Yeah.
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 So I think the line masters are not piano players. I mean, they are, but the true, like all these guys, you think about Charlie Parker, I melt over Dexter Gordon. He's so incredible.
Yeah.
And all these guys that just spend all day crafting lines. So I would study you guys, Sonny Stitt.
Yeah. Clifford Brown.
Oh my God. Yeah, I transcribed a few Clifford Brown solos. And you would just play these melodies, and you would just go, oh my, this guy's a genius. Like what? Like, oh, how did he... Simple melodies, but you think, oh, I never would think of that, you know?
Yeah.
So you get my drift with that with horn players, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oftentimes I wish I could play chords, but so you have to have real good control of where you are harmonically, so that what you're playing is going to match with what's going on with the other people you're playing with.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I always say, we spend most of our time playing by ourselves, especially now. So if the horn players, if they can sit in their practice room and play Solar or play Giant Steps and it sounds like the tune, that means you're putting all the information in your melody.
Yeah, right.
And so I was always, right off the bat, I was trying to check out horn players and get it from them. And we picked a couple tunes to play that are kind of liney tunes, which is cool. The first one, we'll just play a tune and warm up. We'll play I Remember April. But we're going to do Quasimodo, which is like just a bebop melody. And what's the other one?
Waltz New.
Waltz New.
What else did we decide? Oh, the Monk tune, Aranel.
Oh, Aranel. Yeah. So, which that's cool because that's kind of a quirky kind of melody line in a way. All right, so let's play a tune and then we can talk some more. Everything's going. So, are you going to stay sitting down or stand up when you play?
Doesn't matter. Do you want me to stand?
Well, if you're going to sit, if you're comfortable, I'm going to move to fix the camera real quick.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see what happens. I'll do an intro. Hold on. Okay, you
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Safe. I used to play with a singer that we'd always end a tune, and she would safe. Especially with endings, you know, figuring out, okay, how are we going to end the tune?
Right.
How are we going to do all this? What if somebody out there wants to transcribe alto players, who should they transcribe?
Well, gosh. I mean, you can't go wrong. Well, the way I got into everything was through Charlie Parker. So I still, as I've grown as a player, as a musician, I always think my prism of how I look at the world of music always is through that prism of kind of Charlie Parker.
Yep.
So, and then from there, obviously, Sonny Stitt, Lee Konitz, Paul Desmond, all the greats. Listen as much as possible. But I think you've said this, Tony, that Charlie Parker is like our Bach.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. All this functional Western harmony, you can just boil it down, and if you analyze a Charlie Parker solo, it gives you all that, and all these like color notes, and it's very forward thinking music. So I would start with Charlie Parker, I guess. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Who's out now?
Oh man. I was just listening to an old interview. Who's the Gary Burton, and he was talking about at one period of maybe pre-70s jazz was just one thing, and ever since the 70s, jazz, what we think of jazz is just so open. Mm-hmm. So that was 70, 50. Going 50 years forward from the 70s, geez, there's so many great people to check out. So there's, mainstream, modern. I mean, I love listening to Branford Marsalis.
Uh-huh.
Dick Oates was a hero of mine. Joe Lovano, Joel Fromm, Seamus, Chris Cheek, Rich Perry.
Yeah, it kind of goes on.
Yeah.
Goes on and on.
Yep.
And it's nice for, since this is people who watch this video, vibe players, I think it's nice for them to study those guys and take the solos.
Yep.
Take the solos from them. I think there's a lot to offer from listening to them, and studying their stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anytime you can, there's probably things on the vibes that lay real easy, and when you transcribe another horn player or just another instrument, they're going to do things that maybe it lays naturally on that instrument but feels funny on the vibes, and all of a sudden now you've got this shape that you can do that is kind of unique to you because you've stole it from somebody else.
Yeah. Trumpet lays really naturally on the vibraphone. With sax, it's a little different because of a lot of the jumps and the things.
Sure, yeah.
I think it's, if I'm right, it's a little harder for trumpet players to do big jumps and things. Yeah.
Right.
Want to play a Parker tune?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So let's think about lines for a second. How do you think? What can you pass on to vibraphone players about lines? Like, what can they practice, or what can they?
So I think, and I think we're all guilty of this. we need to remember that the rests are part of the line, and you're playing the rests as well. Somebody who does this really great is Jim Hall, big hero of mine. Bill Evans, another. But you know, you're playing a line, and so much of our training is like notes, 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 notes. But the rhythm part, right? By playing these rests, we create rhythmic interest, and we can't forget that. That's gonna draw the listener in, even if you're a monster shredder. Shredding, it gets old after a while, you know. The listener tunes out. So how do you draw that? You keep that listener roped in by rhythmic interest. So becoming a good rhythm player is really important.
Rhythm, yeah. Well, it's funny because in our world, a rhythm player might mean rhythm section, but you just mean rhythm.
I just mean playing rhythm, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you see those guys, and it's like the rests are as amazing as the notes.
Right.
You know, just how they put that stuff in. People think of this instrument, they always think of it as a piano, and I've always had a problem with that because we can't even hang with piano players as far as two hands. You know, because we have sticks and we have two separate hands, and those hands aren't really independent. I mean, I can't play like Donna Lee with his hand. So, what was my point? My point was hands, rhythm. So sometimes I think of this instrument and I tell students, and I know other people think of it like this, but I think just pretend it's a drum. Play it like it's a drum, because in a way it is a drum.
Yeah, sure.
It's more of a drum than it is a saxophone.
Right.
So play it like that and make your stuff up. Make your stuff up from the point of view of a drummer. But the other instrument that I think is important is make your stuff up from the point of view. I always say guitar player because I grew up playing guitar, and this is more like a guitar to me than a piano. In our limitations and what we can do, I can't walk a bass line and do it. Guitar players can walk a bass line and play, but it's a big deal. They don't have a separate bass line finger that's just doing that. So I think that's interesting, and I think you guys hold a lot of answers for us. You guys really hold a lot of answers, because all the two mallet vibe players can do it. You know, Warren Wolf and Stefan, they can all play lines and just weave through the stuff because they're just focused on lines. And a lot of times with the chord guys, we get caught up in playing the chords and not figuring out how to put the information in the line, which means you're struggling to keep the chords going to give your notes meaning, rather than just doing, you know, if you think whether it was, you know, Bach and playing this note, and he could ring it, but instead he could let it go and fill in the harmony. So, you know, do something like that. But a lot of times vibe players are trying to play the chords and the thing, and it doesn't always work out so well. Okay, so you said Jim Hall. Do you want to play our Jim Hall tune?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good segue.
Yeah.
Unintentional, but.
Yeah, and it's a contrafact, right?
That's right.
Based on?
Someday My Prince Will Come. Yeah.
Yeah. And except for one, it's almost the same, except for the one part where in the middle where it goes to B major. Yeah, which is kind of cool to do a contrafact and then also shift the harmony a little bit. He was such an amazing.
And shifting the way the melody weaves. It's not 1, 2, 3. He's going over the bar line. Yeah, it's a little glimpse into his mind rhythmically, just learning this melody.
Yeah. He was a melody master as well. Okay, let's see what happens.
Like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
1, 2.
tune, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're good. That's plenty, right?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, cool. Hey, thanks if
Thanks
you.
for hanging in.
Yeah, thanks for hanging in, and if you watch it later, thanks. And don't forget vibesworkshop.com.